All right, so
Oh God.
coming to the stage, when I first met her, I only knew her as Honeybee, right? And that's what everybody called her affectionately, right? And then as I seen her, we were in an acceleration program with Dr. Jamar, and he asked her to present one day in front of the class, and it was the acceleration program of business owners, and she was just so poised and so good at what she did, and just sat there and listened to everybody, made comments based off of and this is a room full of seasoned business owners, and when she came and sat down, I said, "You speak in front of people?" She's like, "Oh, not really."
I don't.
Just natural, right? And I think what it is she's natural because she's sincerely good at what she do, and she's passionate, and it comes across when she talks. Everybody, please give it up for Shireen, or as I call her,
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here tonight. I am excited to share. I am excited to share my journey, share my story with you. And tonight we're going to be talking about evolution. So does anybody know what evolution really is? Raise your hand if you know. Just blurt it out, whatever. What do you think evolution is?
I want to say that it's a story of...
She said it's a story. Anybody else have anything else to say about evolution? Growth. Anybody else? You can just say it out loud. Nobody else? Oh. Growing, okay. And we're going to talk about how personal growth and transformation unlocks your next level. All right, so we've already talked about what evolution is, and let's get the real definition. It's a gradual development from something simple to something complex. It is also survival, the ability of transforming and growing. And you have to ask yourself, am I truly, truly growing, or am I going in circles? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, about having the ability to evolve into who you're going to be. Tonight, we're going to be celebrating Juneteenth. So anybody excited about that? I'm excited. I'm excited to be here speaking on Juneteenth because I'll never forget this night. I'll never forget this day because I was speaking on Juneteenth. Okay, so Juneteenth marks the day when enslaved people in Texas finally learned they were free. This was 2.5 years after they were really free. Now, this represents a powerful shift in status, identity, and opportunity. So, evolution, yeah. We're going to be celebrating because it is a celebration that is nationally recognized. So it went from just a couple people finding out that they're free to a national holiday. That is evolution. That's just one way to say that this actual day has evolved over time. So many times I've heard about Juneteenth, but I never knew what it was. Anybody else been there before? Right, so we heard about it, we never celebrated it, we didn't even know what it was, but now it is actually recognized as a holiday. Whether you like it or not, or whatever, if you celebrate or not, it's still considered a holiday. So that is part of evolution, because it was a simple beginning and now it's something national that we celebrate. Now I'm going to talk about me and how I evolved. So I started out as a home baker. That's what I did. I was baking in my kitchen at home, 4 young children, and I was just doing my thing. That's what I was doing. That's how I started out in 2016. I had a business before that, but I wasn't on my own. So in 2016, I began baking at home, doing my thing. I was working a full-time job, and I had 4 young children at the time. I was doing it all. I was baking, I was cleaning, I was raising kids. I was doing the most, as some of us say. All right, so after a while, I decided that I was tired of working in my kitchen at home. And my business was growing. I was using social media as a way to get the message out there about my business. And I was encouraged by my cousin. She said, you know what, you can get a small storefront. You don't have to be in your home anymore. So I said, okay. So I went and I found a location. My first location was on Dunn Avenue. It was just a small shell of a place. My kids and I, we went in and we transformed it into what I called a bakery. So in 2018, I was still working my corporate job, and I thought that I would be there for a long time, but the more I worked on my own business, I could not focus on working at someone else's business. It was just killing me because every day I went to work, I was making good money. I was making 6 figures, taking care of my kids. I was living the American dream, traveled all over the United States, moved my kids to New York, came back to Florida, doing all of that. And I still could not focus on my 9 to 5, the one that was paying my bills. So I prayed. I said, you know what, God, I really, really want to work my business full time. I did not take into consideration what that actually meant. I thought that's what I wanted to do. But you have to be careful what you pray for. Because February of 2018, my corporate job started laying people off. And guess what? I was one of them. I could have stayed at the job and I could have been a union employee. So I was in management at the time. I could have been a union employee, but my passion was so strong that I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take the severance pay and I'm just gonna do my business full time. Now I have 4 children still in school. I didn't have a job, of course, if I'm gonna take the layoff. So I didn't think about it all. All I knew is I had this burning desire to do my business. So I took the money and continued doing my business. The longer I stayed at my business, I realized I can't just do cupcakes. So I was doing small treats. I wasn't doing anything major, just cupcakes and pretzels and little cute little stuff. But at the time when I was doing it and I was working, my job was paying for my location. And I did not think of that. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it, but I wasn't. So to the payout, I started doing just small, kept doing the small treats. And someone said, you know what? The money's in making whole cakes. The money's in making wedding cakes. And I'm like, but I don't know how to do that. They said, go to YouTube, learn. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do that. But before I did that, I'm gonna tell you a secret. You cannot tell anybody this secret. I would go to Sam's and purchase cakes as a blank canvas, and I would go to my shop and I would decorate the cake, and I would post the picture and people would purchase the cake. That was it. So that was working, right? Okay, so Sam's only sells vanilla and chocolate. I didn't think of that. I wasn't thinking about somebody might want red velvet. I wasn't thinking about that. So somebody wanted red velvet. So I was like, okay, I was practicing and practicing and practicing, and it turned out terrible. I couldn't do what they thought I could do because of the pictures on Facebook that I was posting. So I had to tell them, I only can do vanilla or chocolate. And they was confused. They were like, but why? I said, well, that's all I have. So they took vanilla or chocolate. But since that day, I started practicing for real. Like, I kept watching YouTube videos after YouTube videos, practicing after practice after practice, and guess what? I got it. I finally mastered icing a cake. I finally mastered it. It didn't take me that long though. It was only a couple of months, but a couple of months is a long time in business, especially when people are ordering. Okay, so once I decided, okay, I'm good, right? I want to open a full-time bakery. I said, you know what? I want a big bakery. I want a bakery where people can walk in and purchase cake slices, not just have to order and then pick it up. So I said, okay, let me go and look. Now, I just told you that I had already got laid off. I did not have a job. All I had was the bakery that I currently have. But with my faith, I went riding around and I said, you know what, I'm gonna find me a big building and I'm gonna find a bakery. I didn't even have good credit. Okay, I found a location, it was great. I thought, this is it. Called, the lady met me, she came out and she said, do you want this building? I said, yo. She says, okay, well just fill out the application and I'll let you know. I said, okay, I'm gonna fill out the application. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not gonna get this building because I don't have anything to put on it. I don't have a job. All I have is, the bakery that I was currently in, only making one layer cake, so 2 layer cakes, 1 tier cakes and treats. She called me back a week later and said, the owner said yes. I was like, oh my God, yes. And then my faith, I said, well, I'm gonna need 6 months of free rent because I gotta get my bakery together. That's some nerve, right? And she said, I don't know about that, but I'll let you know. She called me back. He said, yeah. I said, okay. So I got a second location. So at that time I had 2 locations because I was still at the one shop and I was creating my second shop, right? Got the keys in 2020. In 2020, guess what happened? Yeah, I got the keys in January of 2020. So I have all these big dreams and all these great, wonderful things that I'm gonna do at my new bakery. I'm fancy, I got 2 bakeries and I'm just ready. And the pandemic hit in March. And I got 6 months free rent. Okay, so 3 of the months already gone. So I'm like, oh God, what am I gonna do? So I said, you know what, I'm still gonna move forward. I'm still gonna open my bakery. My kids are still in school. I'm managing 2 locations. I'm just trying to do it all. I'm trying to renovate. I don't even know where this money was coming from because I told you I don't have a job. All I have is the bakery, that's it. But it worked out. In July, I had my grand opening at my new bakery, and it was such a success. Everybody came out and celebrated, and I still opened in July of 2020 during the pandemic and everything. So I was like, okay, this is great. I stayed consistent. Some days were good, some days were bad because we didn't know what was going on with the pandemic. Because sometimes they said, people can go out, some people couldn't go out, people had on masks, it was a mess. But I stayed consistent. And I learned how to decorate wedding cakes during this time. So now I have something else that I've added. I said, okay, I know how to do treats. I know how to ice cakes. And now I can do wedding cakes. But guess what? Hardly anybody's getting married. So I learned how to do it, but no one was really ordering wedding cakes because of the limitations that we had on, during COVID. But it was okay. But I kept going, and I watched business after business close. Major businesses were closing, but for some reason, Honeybees stayed open. We stayed open, and I kept working, and I kept working. My mom came and helped me. My sister came and helped. I was working. I was doing it all, but the doors stayed open. And the next year, guess what happened? They wanted to sell my building. So I said, okay, they want to sell my building. No problem. This is another issue that I was having. But before they sold it, I said, I'm going to start doing cake parties. I just created hot cakes with honey because I thought, let me try to create some revenue. So I created cake parties, and I was just doing cake parties every so often. It wasn't a major source of income, but I was always creating, always trying to think of the next thing. they decided they wanted to sell the building, and I'm working in my business. I'm just steady, going to work, trying to continue to generate income, and a customer came in. A customer who, she's been coming in for a long time, and for some reason on this day, she says, yeah, because I got a building over here, and I was like, what? You got a building somewhere? She's like, yes, I have this building and no one's in it. I said, well, where is this building? She said, well, come and follow me and I'll show you. I said, okay. I left my bakery, I went to the building, and I fell in love. I was like, this is perfect and at the right time. Timing is everything. So she says, well, I don't know, can you afford this amount? And I said, yeah, I can. I already told you I don't have a job, but I was just like, yeah, I'm already affording one. I had already closed the other because I didn't need two at the time. I said, I can afford it. She said, okay, you have the keys. So she gave me that building right in the nick of time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to use everything I've learned along the way to make sure that this one works. This building is about 3,000 square feet. It has rooms where I can rent out. I have like a small event space. I have a lot of, space outside. I thought, you know what? I am going to create income with this building. I'm a baker, but I'm going to also do other things so that I can create the income. So along the way, I've met a lot of great people. I've done a lot of great things, and I've won awards, and I've done a lot of things along the way, but it wasn't because I stayed the home baker. Everything I did built on everything that I've already gone through. I went through baking at home, raising kids, moving from one shop to the next, and then moving to the shop that I'm currently in. And meeting people along the way in business, connections and networking, they go a long way. And let me tell you why. Along the way, I have created new ideas and new opportunities and new products from just me starting out as a home baker. At home, I was only making cupcakes. Now I make wedding cakes, I do cake parties, I have a show. I have evolved over time. If you had met me when I first got my first bakery, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I wouldn't be talking to you about anything. I would be too shy. I would be too nervous. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have now because of all the obstacles and all the things that I've been through. And because of that, I have dedicated myself to teaching other women how to become business owners. So I love to motivate other women. I love men too, but my passion, because I didn't want to just say women. I am dedicated to empowering other women who are seeking to elevate their lives by way of business ownership. I am the SheEo now. So, SheEo, I am a certified business coach. I also have my bakery, so I can bake you a good cake, but I can also help you to elevate your life with business ownership, whether you have a business now or if you are, interested in opening up a business. It can be your side hustle or your main thing. It doesn't matter what it is, I can help. Now, let me tell you how. Oh, I forgot to tell you a couple of other things that I've done as well. So I'm an author. I've written a bake book, I've written a cookbook, and I also have journals for women and teen girls. So there's a lot of things that I have done because of evolution, just because I have evolved from being just that mom in the kitchen baking. And now I've just done a lot of things, and those things were done because I decided that I wasn't going to stay in the same box that I started in. I decided within myself that I was going to be more than what I was. I decided to evolve. Now, these are the journals that I've created. is called the Pen Effect Journal Series. And it's journals for all women. You can find yourself in any of these journals, trust me. I have journals for melanated women, Christian women, women during chemo, those women who have cancer and they're going through chemo. They can take that journal with them and journal their journey during that time. Now, what I want you to do, if you're a woman, if you would, take out your phones. Take out your phones. You got a phone? Yeah, I guess you men, you can go ahead and take out your phones too. If you want to take out your phone, take out your phone. I just want everybody to download my free ebook. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you a thing. This ebook will help you if you are on a journey to business ownership or to increase your business. Take out your phone and scan the code. Let me know if this code works.
It does.
Okay, all right. I did my thing on this. I'm happy about that. I'm glad it works. All right, so like I said, the ebook will help you on your journey. And the first 10 people to actually put your information in and download the ebook, I want to invite you to my show. So I have a show, and my show, it gives other businesses a platform to speak about their business, to promote their business to my followers and my fans. So the first 10 people to actually download the book, my team, they'll know who you are based on the timestamp. You'll get an invite to be on my show. There are a couple people in the room who've already been on the show. By show of hands, anybody been on the show yet? Oh, yeah, see, 3 people has already been on my show. So, like I said, I just came here to tell you about evolving and the importance of starting somewhere, something simple, to maybe moving on to something more complex. The complexity could be a new business, elevating your business and scaling, or whatever your dreams are. So I do have a team right here in the middle. It is IA Digital Media and Strategy. My team, we assist business owners to elevate. If you need social media, if you need anything you need in business, we can help. We are certified coaches. I have Coach Josh. I have Dr. Suber. I have Mr. Oliver. You've already met Sam. He is our digital guy. We have Cambria. She is our SVP of projects. So we have a whole team dedicated to making sure that your business thrives. Thank you.
Give it up for Shereen one more time, Miss Honey B.